This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the return of Phatts TV here on this Tuesday night, March 14th, 2023. I just watching a video from March the 14th, 2016, just 30 seconds ago. So I'm surprised I didn't screw up the date. Joining me is
Congratulations, it's National Pie Day.
Ooh, I like pie. Lots of different kinds
Says the
of
fat
pie.
guy.
I like cherry pie. Joining
Oh, I'm sure
me
you do.
in the upper, oh, I hope you do too. Joining me in the upper left-hand portion of the screen, deep in the heart of Center County, Pennsylvania, live from Phatts Studio B, the one, the only, the non-genetically proven son. How's it going?
Hey, we may have fixed our issues.
We're hoping.
Hey, we stumped an expert in
Yes.
Wirecast.
The gentleman said he was an expert and we stumped him with our issue. So we have a workaround. So hopefully this workaround fixes. So if any of you are actually watching the show tonight, let me know how the volume is. You notice we got headsets on now,
Yes.
and it actually sounds pretty good.
Well, it should sound a lot better.
I mean, well, the headset that I'm using for a cheap headset, it's only like 22, 23 bucks. It's actually a really good headset for the price.
And this is a headset I use for Xbox. This thing's 169.99.
Yeah.
Top of the line gaming headset.
Yes. Kiana says hello. Hello.
Hello.
Apparently
Says the
she,
volume is good.
yes, apparently she got a lot of rain today. No snow. No snow where she's
That's
at.
good.
Yes.
You don't want to have snow.
Yes. My buddy Dan, not my non-genetically proven son Dan, my buddy Dan, who lives up in the northeastern part of our state, said he woke up to an amazing 12 to 18 centimeters. Because they were calling for 12 to 18 inches. Kiana wants snow. Oh, you could tell she grew up in Hawaii.
You can tell she did not grow up in
Yeah.
the northern part of the country.
No, 5 years of snow and you'd be done. You'd be like, nah, no more. But I understand.
No, she will like snow until she would have to shovel it.
I understand.
Till you get 2 feet of that wet snow that
Yes.
weighs a ton.
Yes. So, has she ever gone surfboarding?
I don't think so.
Because maybe if she surfboards, maybe she would like to ski. So then she would like snow.
She's not coordinated enough to ski.
Well, it doesn't take a lot of coordination to ski.
She'll fall over. She'll fall over.
Well, that's because she weighs like 80 pounds. A gust of wind, yeah, would knock her over. Yes, that I understand.
Like the wind down in the Berks County area today.
Yes, it's I went out for lunch and I had this little pizza box. It had two slices of pizza and she tried once, so she says. Um and they gave me some free soup today. I don't know why they were so nice to give me some free soup. I didn't eat the soup yet. It's going to be for dinner after the show. Um they put the soup in a plastic bowl and then in a styrofoam container. And the wind almost knocked the styrofoam container off my pizza box as I was walking to my car. That's how nasty the wind was. Yeah, you're not over 100 pounds. Sorry. Um, so we are here tonight for bracketology, or as we call it, Phatsketology,
You know why we call it that?
because we're gay.
No, I was just gonna say because we don't watch college basketball. We watch one team. One team.
Yeah, but we. Hey, I'm not 80 pounds. Okay, okay. My leg is 80 pounds. All right. Um, I mean, we will watch some basketball this weekend, though.
I
And
will be watching as much March Madness as I can.
and I will admit, I watched a little bit of basketball last weekend when Penn State wasn't on. A little, a little. A
Now,
shot, a shot here, and a dribble there, and a
I've
traveling call
watched
there.
every team in the Big Ten. Outside of that, I watched some of the conference championship games.
Yeah.
I like college basketball. It's just not my prerogative to watch it, though.
It's not as good as it used to be back when I was your age and earlier, back in the 80s. I will say that. It's just, yeah, I don't know. So it's Phatsketology night. So let me ask you this question. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with boys singles, boys team, girls team, or girls singles?
Eh,
Because we are talking about PIAA bowling states this weekend, right? That's the bracket we're talking about, right?
that's not a bracket, though.
Well, it gets into a bracket after qualifying.
And I don't know more than like 2% of the bowlers, personally.
Okay. Well, for those that might be watching, before we get into Phatsketology, I do want to wish a lot of luck to all the members of Team Phats who are bowling out at states. We have, of the 24 girls that made it to states, only 24 go, 12 from the east, 12 from the west. We have 8 girls. 1/3 of the field is Team Phats. How about that? It's amazing. We know, we know how to recruit, at least the
I'd be more
girls.
impressed when you say they're the top five.
It could
All the
very
top
well
five.
be. It could very well be. It could very well be. The girls' field, I think, is a little more wide open than the boys' field. The boys' field, I think the top boy in the West would have been 16th in the East.
Ugh.
So, and they bowled on the same patterns this year. They weren't different patterns. So
Yeah.
now that's not to say they could have, the house that the West bowled in could have played a lot harder. Who knows? But for the boys, I think we only have 2 Team Phats members that made it. So we 10 total Team Phats members bowling in singles, and we got a whole bunch bowling in team event as well. So good luck to all of them. So I guess Phatsketology is not about bowling. So I guess we're talking about NCAA men's.
Yes.
Okay, so what weight class do you want to start at? 125?
125 is too predictable this year.
Right, so I figured we'll start easy. Because
Spencer Lee, done.
because Phatsketology is now all about wrestling. Because
Spencer Lee, 125, done.
we're starting easy.
So 133?
So let me ask you this. We'll just get this out of the way too. You were at all of the Penn State home matches doing photography. Penn State is the number one wrestling team in the country by a mile.
Yeah.
Who has a realistic chance of winning nationals, and who would you say is the favorite in their weight class to win nationals? So let's start with who. There should be at least 3 of the 10 who are absolute stone cold favorites to win nationals.
RBY, 133.
Yep, Roman Bravo Young.
Carter Starachi, 174.
Yep,
Aaron Brooks, 185 or whatever.
Yep. Now, did all those win nationals last year?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. Is there any others who would be the favorites to win?
No.
Okay. Now, there should be at least three, maybe four more that have a good chance of winning. When I say good chance of winning, they should at least make the semis.
There's two that will make the semis. I think they have pretty easy roads. Levi
Okay.
Haynes at 157 and Greg Kirkfleet at heavyweight.
At heavyweight. Heavyweight, which is it's weird. Like class 9 is like 189 or something like that.
197.
197, then heavyweight's 285.
Yeah.
Kiana would not be in heavyweight.
No.
No.
And then they have Max Dean at 197, returning NCAA champion,
Yep. Yep.
defending, but he had 3 losses this year. Lost the Big Ten final.
Yep. Now,
In
did he not
three,
did he not lose the Big Ten final last year?
no, he did. No, he won the Big Ten last year, I believe.
Are you sure he didn't lose the guy from Michigan last year? And then beat him at nationals?
I have no idea.
I think he did. But maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
I think you're thinking of Brooks.
Okay. Okay. Max Dean to me kind of looks disinterested almost, but that's the way he always
Well,
looks.
yeah, his wrestling style is not to get points. He's not RBY. He's not Spencer Lee. He's not Aaron Brooks. He wins 2-0 matches, 2-1 matches. So the 3 matches he's lost are against people that get points. And I think that's how you beat him is you attack him, attack him, attack him, and then when you're on bottom, you choose neutral. And then because he's not known to get takedowns. And I think that's how you beat him.
There you go.
So I think he could get an All-American look, though. So top 7.
Okay.
And then Bo Bartlett, who is 141.
He's a freshie.
No, he's a sophomore or junior.
Okay.
I'll get to the freshman.
Okay.
He is, I believe, like the 6th seed. He has a decent path to the semis, but I think a quarterfinals is there. He tends to not also score very high. He tends to win lower scoring matches too. Big turn of events in 149, Shane Van Ness, who is a freshman, moved up a seed because one of the higher seeds had to drop out. So he actually doesn't have to face the 4 seed now in the second round.
Oh, here, hold on a second. Whoa, whoa! Rangers scored. Never mind. Go ahead.
So he has a much easier road to the quarters where he would face Max Murin, who he's 0-2 against this year from Iowa. And then lastly at 165 is Alex Facundo, who is kind of like Max Dean in a way. But he's also a freshman. So I wouldn't expect anything out of any of the freshmen except Levi.
Okay. Who at the lower weight class was the number 2 seed and won against the guy who was like undefeated or 1 loss this year from Nebraska?
Levi Haynes.
I could have swore he was a freshman.
Levi Haynes is a freshman.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So he ended
Yeah,
up winning Big Ten.
Yes.
Yes.
He beat
Okay.
the undefeated guy, number 1 wrestler in the nation from Nebraska. Haynes is the 2 seed at NCAA's.
Yeah, I could see him winning nationals probably 3 times. Maybe not this year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think he's going to lose in the semis to that guy from Nebraska, to be honest.
Okay. Well, we'll see. So, if when you're watching basketball this weekend, feel free to flip over to wrestling because actually, college wrestling is, to me, it's really exciting.
Except to Kiana. She does not like wrestling.
Well, Kiana, they don't jump off the top rope and land the elbow. Yeah, they don't suplex,
Oh, the
or
big leg.
right, the big boot and drop the leg and wrestling a steel cage. Yeah, I get that.
Cheese grater to the head. Yeah.
When there's what I like is when they want to challenge a play, they got a brick. They throw the brick.
Yeah, they do. It is
They,
a
they
brick.
throw the brick. That's awesome. All right. On to the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Your overall number one seed, if you lived under a rock, they're not just a football school anymore. The Alabama Crimson Tide. Agree they should be the overall number one seed or disagree?
Um, I could agree. I could
Okay.
agree.
Okay. By the way, our message board, as always, is live and operational. We could use more than just Kiana comment. All right. So, any surprises? Like seeding or teams that you thought should have been in that weren't, or teams that you didn't think would make it and are in. There's definitely one team that I did not think that should make it that is in the tournament for
So
sure.
we'll start with that. I don't believe NC State should be in.
Exactly. That is the
I
one team.
believe Oklahoma State, Clemson, or Rutgers should be in that spot. Probably Rutgers or Oklahoma State.
Okay, yeah, I definitely do not think NC State should have made it. So, for those of you that live under a rock or don't know, they what they do now is they break up wins into quad one, quad two, quad three, quad four. So, what you want to do is you want to have a lot of quad one wins, and you don't want to have a lot of quad three or quad four losses. The better teams obviously are in quad one. The not so good teams are in quad four. The bad teams.
I know
And
a simple way to say it is I believe a quad one is a top 25 team at home, and a quad one away win would be a top, like, I think it's 60 team on the road.
okay, I did not know that. I should have looked that up. I should have.
It's either 50, 60, or 70. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. All right. So, by the way, the overall best team for quad one wins was Kansas. And I do think if Kansas ended up winning their tournament, they probably would have been the overall number one seed,
Probably.
which would have meant they basically would have played 4 home games because the Midwest regionals are in Kansas City. So it makes it a little more interesting. They got to travel out west now and play in Las Vegas. Can you imagine that? The regionals in Las Vegas. I mean, you want to talk about the best time to be in a casino if you like to gamble? It's during the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. Like you can't get a seat in the sports book. It's wild. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Not that I've ever been there,
Let's
but
just say, as if you've been there.
10 out of 10, highly recommend. But
But
yes,
we
and
could
NC
go.
State 1-6
We
quad
could talk
ones.
about. I don't believe. Um, sorry, losing my train of thought. Blah, 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 blah. Wow. Well, where was I? Don't believe Purdue should be a one seed.
Okay, who do you think should be there?
Texas.
Texas. Okay, so you think two Big 12 schools should have been number one seeds?
If Kansas is a one seed, Texas beat them by 20 twice.
They did.
So just personally, I think the Big 12 is. I think it's miles above the Big 10.
It is what's considered the top ranked conference this year. Yes.
So I know why they put Purdue there. Their record is really good. They won the Big 10. I get why they're there.
They won the Big, not only did they win the Big Ten, they won the Big Ten by 3 games, which is a
Yes.
lot. That's been the most in like 20 some years or something like that.
Right. So, or Arizona could be in that spot as well.
I would have sooner put Texas over Arizona. Definitely.
But I like Texas, and then we get to the more homery picks here. I think Texas A&M as a 7 seed is robbery,
They should definitely be higher.
and they finished second in their conference, second in their tournament. They only had what, 3 conference losses,
Something like that, yeah.
and a 7 seed. That's if
Yes.
Indiana is a 4 seed. Indiana doesn't even have 20 wins, I don't believe. I think they have 19 or 20. I think they have 20 on the nose.
And they lost to Penn State
And then I
twice.
personally, and this is my homer thing, I think Penn State as a 10 seed is a little bit of robbery as well.
You could certainly make the case the way they are playing, they should be an 8 or a 9.
I
Maybe
had
even a
them
7.
I had them in the Houston bracket, same bracket, but flip Iowa and Penn State, and I think it's fair. Iowa is an 8 seed. Penn State is the 10 seed in the bracket.
Okay.
So I think if you flip those, I think I wouldn't gripe about it so much.
Okay.
I think Penn State just got not the greatest draw because they're a little underseeded. They're facing a team that's way underseeded.
Yes. Yeah, the way they finished off the year, I mean, you know, even in so the semifinal game, they were up huge with 4 minutes to go and almost blew the game.
Right.
Then against Purdue, they were down huge with 7 minutes to go and almost won the game.
Right.
It was like what? It was like deja vu in reverse. It realistically was. It was amazing.
Before we go through the whole bracket, Penn State is one of those teams. If they were somewhere else, I can really say this and really back it up. You don't want to face them because they could beat anybody, but they could lose to any of those 67 other teams in that bracket.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've been saying it all year long. If they're hitting their threes, because they put up a lot of threes typically. Now they haven't been putting up so many lately. As many
I
as they
think
normally do.
I think it's because they're facing similar opponents, so opponents are coming prepared to defend the 3
Mm-hmm.
because they know that's their best chance to win. Don't let them make 12, 13 threes.
Right. Right. Which is my concern with them facing Texas A&M, because I think the way to beat Penn State is you want to pressure them as much as possible. Like
Yeah,
you like you don't really want to help and double team. You because they'll kick the ball out and they'll move the ball till they find the open guy, and then the open guy will take a three. And if they're hitting their threes, they're deadly. They're going to win. If they're missing their threes, well, then they're probably going to lose. But like you can't really like double team them. It's not to your advantage on the defensive side of the ball to double team them.
no, because they could score all across the board.
Yes.
Their starting lineup, every single one of them except their center can hit a 3, but their center off the bench can hit threes,
Yeah.
and they have 2 players also off the bench that can hit threes.
Yes.
So there's no point in trying to double team a freshman center or Pickett because Pickett is just going to beat you anyways.
Yes. So let's look. We both did a bracket, and interestingly enough, normally when we pick stuff, we tend to have the same ideas. Let's
You're gonna
face
say
it.
we're
Like
nowhere close.
for this, nowhere. I mean, there are some brackets where, like in the first 2 rounds, they are similar. I will say that. You haven't seen my bracket yet. Like, so you're just sitting there shaking your head like you're agreeing with me when you haven't seen my bracket yet. You're like, yeah, he's right. Yeah. No, you haven't seen my bracket yet.
I am not.
So I got to play around with this a little bit. So you're going to see Daniel disappear. Say goodbye.
Bye.
See ya. All right. So at least he's gone on my screen right now. He may not be gone on your screen, but he's gone on my screen. And now I'm going to disappear on my screen. And let me see here. We'll lower that. And we'll bring that up. And we'll come over here and do. Now you guys all have a black screen. So that's not what we want right now. We're gonna do this. Okay. So
There we go.
this is Daniel's bracket,
My bracket.
which just got really big. Because I'm trying to
Final Four,
let's
April 1st.
see here. Yeah, hey, Final Four is April 1st, by the way. Let's see here. I don't like this version of Adobe. Usually the stuff is easy to find where to large stuff and where to shrink stuff. Zoom to page level. Okay. So, and then it makes it really big again. Ugh.
Stop trying to drag.
Well, because you're supposed to be able to drag this stuff.
Use your mouse.
I am using my mouse.
Now right click and click the mouse tab. Right click. You see the little cursor key or the hand. Click the hand. The
Yeah,
hand should be able to move it.
the hand. Okay. So, I want to make it a little bit bigger though. Okay. So, this is Daniel's bracket. So, we're going to look at the top of the bracket first, and then we'll look at the bottom. So, let's
The
start
top
in the
one.
South. Let's start
The
in the
South.
South. Your overall Alabama is going to take on the winner of the game that's playing now between somebody and somebody that really doesn't matter.
I picked
And
AMCC to win that game, by the way.
okay, I believe they were winning the last I saw.
They are by 8.
There you go. All right. So let's go to a game that could be a dogfight. You have the number 9 seed West Virginia beating Maryland.
I don't see it as a dogfight.
Okay.
Maryland sucks anywhere but home.
That is true. They do.
So I see Maryland losing, maybe not by double digits, but it'll be comfortable for West Virginia.
Okay. All right. And you have 2 upsets in your bracket. This is the first. Of course, it's a 12-5. You have
12-5, of course.
Charleston beating San Diego State. Now, what I like about this game is San Diego State has to travel across country. This game is, I believe, in Orlando.
Correct.
Yes. So Charleston has just an itty bitty ride because last I checked, Charleston is on the East Coast in South Carolina. That's pretty close to Florida, the last I checked. And San Diego State
Yes.
is, I don't think San Diego State is in Georgia or anything like that. So they got a pretty long flight. So you got the upset here. Any reason why?
So the one thing I really like is Charleston has 5 players that average over double digits.
Okay.
And they are top 100 offensive and defensive efficiency, so that's top third in Division One basketball.
Okay.
So I believe the upset is very possible here. With only 3 losses on the season, they know how to win.
They do. They do. You have the number 4 seed beating the number 13 seed Furman. Did you have any thought that this could be an upset?
I did,
Okay.
but I think the experience of Virginia will get them through.
Okay. What scares me about Virginia, hey, Washington scored. Who would have thunk? What scares me about Virginia is they don't like to score lots of points. Their games are always low scoring. So if they're not shooting good and not scoring, teams like that could find ways to lose very easy.
Well, here's a little comparison for you. Virginia averages 67.8 points a game, and Furman averages 82.1.
Mm-hmm.
So take that however you want.
Mm-hmm. Wow, if this was soccer, that would have been an own goal. Okay. You have number 6 Creighton beating NC State. That makes sense. That should happen. No need. And here you have a major upset. You have UCSB beating Baylor. I'm going to assume UCSB is University of Cal Santa Barbara
Yes.
beating Baylor. A 14 taking down a 3, which has been happening a little more and more every year in the tournament.
That is very true. But same reason I think with Charleston here, they have their top 6 scorers all shoot over 46% from the field. And Baylor is not the greatest defensive team. Great offense. So I think this could be quite the high scoring game. Somewhere in the possible, could touch 150.
I tell you what, why don't you pull up a betting app and let's find out what the over-under is in that game? So
That's
actually, I
something
didn't
like
even notice you have 3 upsets in this pool because you also have Utah State beating Missouri as a 10 seed.
I do.
And then you have the 2 seed Arizona beating Princeton. Princeton, going back to the 80s, gives me nightmares.
I wonder why. Do you know when UCSB plays?
No.
Okay, so this is gonna take a minute to find.
Well, it's either Thursday or Friday. It's not that hard.
I think they play Friday.
The silence is deafening.
143 is the over under.
Okay, so that could be a potential overplay.
Yeah, I think UCSB can pull out the upset. Baylor also just loses stupid games. They've done it all year.
Okay.
Like they crashed out early in their conference tournament.
Okay. On
The
to
Big
round
12.
on to round 2, you have Alabama beating West Virginia, and you have Virginia beating Charleston. Any thoughts of having Charleston beat Virginia in that spot?
Yes. Yes. Um, I can't, like my heart wanted to, but my head's like, take the experience.
Got you.
In
Okay.
in my head, I'm like, I have Alabama beating either team, so it's play the odds maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, Virginia would probably win that game more than not.
Okay.
So if whichever team I have win, I have Alabama beating them anyways.
Got you. Got you. All right. And in the lower half of the bracket, you have Creighton beating Cal Santa Barbara, and you have Arizona defeating Utah State. So you don't have any upsets in round 2 of that bracket. And you don't have any upsets in round 3. You have Alabama and Arizona. So you have, at least once you get into round 2, a fairly chalky bracket.
Yeah, this bracket is a little chalky.
Okay. But you do have Arizona beating Alabama in the Elite Eight. You do not have Alabama, the overall number 1 seed, moving forward.
I see them eventually basically choking.
Okay.
I think the players are gonna once they get to that point are gonna be like maybe thinking about it too much.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be a toss-up game either way. It should be a really good game.
Got you. Got you. All right. Moving over to the Midwest. You have Houston beating Northern Kentucky. You have Auburn as a 9 seed beating Iowa. I think that's actually fairly likely. I believe once we get to my bracket, you'll see I also pick Auburn. This bracket actually, like, this bracket looks very similar to what somebody else might have a little bit later. at, at least to start.
Yeah.
Once we get in, then it gets a little yeah. So you have Houston, you have Auburn, you have Miami, you have the upset, you have Kent State beating Indiana.
Couple points here. I don't remember the original reason I picked Kent State this morning because I was looking at rosters and there might have been somebody tall on that team.
Okay, that's a great reason.
But well, that was part of it. But
Okay.
they play very much like Penn State. They're gritty, and gritty works in the tournament time.
Okay.
Can't, and they're led by they have a point guard that averages 18 points a game,
Okay.
and they played tight with Houston and Gonzaga this year.
Okay.
So, and Indiana to me is weak.
Uh-huh.
Penn State, barring the ending of their game, would have beat them by double digits twice.
Yep. Yep.
Easily.
Yep.
Other
Yep.
than their center, Trace Jackson Davis, that is definitely why I picked Kent State because they had a center that could stay with him. Other than him, there's not much talent in Indiana's team. They're going to be forced to shoot more threes and more long shots than they probably want to, and that is not where they succeed.
Got it. Got it. Okay. All right. You have Iowa State beating whoever comes out of the Mississippi State Pitt game, and you have Xavier beating Kennesaw State. So no upsets here. A little bit of a homer pick here. You do have Penn State beating Texas A&M,
Yeah,
and
that's a homer pick.
you have Texas beating Colgate.
Yes.
That's really going out on a limb there.
Yeah, it is.
In round two, you have Houston beating Auburn. You have Kent State with another upset over Miami. You have
Um,
Iowa State with an upset over Xavier, and you have Texas beating Penn State. How could you?
Texas is going to beat them by double digits.
Jeff Gordon is at the Ranger game, sitting next to Henrik Lundqvist.
Good, good for them. How could I? Texas is a much better team than Penn State. As much as Penn State would have a chance to win that game, they're not going to.
Okay. All right. So why do you
Iowa
take?
State.
Yeah, that's my question. And then we're gonna go. Why do you think Kent State's gonna beat Miami?
Iowa State 9-5 versus top 25 opponents. Enough said.
Enough said. Okay. Kent State to beat Miami to pull off back-to-back upsets.
I wanted to take Drake, and you also reminded me that Miami's one of their better players may not be playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also going on a limb that he's not going to be playing.
Did you not take Drake because
So Kent State.
Josh wouldn't be there?
that's a good joke.
Oh,
That's a good joke. No, in my mind, I don't want to take every freaking 12-5 upset.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Kent State with the momentum beat Miami.
Okay. And you have Houston beating Auburn. I'm just gonna say this right now. If Houston's their player that's out, that's a really good player. If he's not back, that's an upset alert right there. I'm just gonna say it right there. It's an upset alert. You may see that when you see another bracket in a couple minutes. But speaking of upsets, you have Kent State with another upset. You do have them beating Houston. Now, they did play earlier this year, and it was a close game.
It was, and I'm assuming they're not going to have their best player.
Okay. And then you have
So
Texas beating Iowa State, which they've obviously played at least once so far this year.
they have an Iowa State. They beat Texas and lost to Texas.
Okay. All right.
I don't know the scores. I could just see what win-loss.
That's all right. And then you have Texas beating Kent State to make it to the Final Four. So you have two number 2 seeds up at the top of the bracket, making it to the Final Four. So now, let's go to my bracket. in the South, in the South, I have Alabama, I have West Virginia, I have Charleston, I have Virginia, I have Creighton, I have Baylor, I have Utah State, I have Arizona. So we basically make the same
Wow.
picks, except I have Baylor over UC Santa Barbara.
Yes. So
So
your
very
South is very similar to mine, but you made the pick I didn't want to make.
okay. Okay.
Because that
Now,
Creighton Arizona game,
uh-huh.
it's
Yeah,
going to be a game.
it is. You would think it is. You would think it is. So I have Alabama and Virginia. But you know what? You kind of sold me on Charleston. If if I had to do this all over again, I would put Charleston on that line over Virginia. So
Okay.
I'll keep it at Virginia, but I think Charleston could make it to the Sweet 16 where they would lose to Alabama. So I have Alabama against Creighton, and I have Alabama going to the Final Four. So we do
Ooh.
differ. We do differ. You have number 2 Arizona. I have number 1 Alabama. In the Midwest, I have Houston, I have Auburn, I have Miami, I have Kent, I have Iowa State, I have Xavier, I have Penn State, I have Texas. That looks very similar to somebody else.
Yeah.
Very similar. And then we start to get a little different here. Houston. So I did not have Auburn beating Houston. So I kind of tricked you guys a little bit where I said, you might see a little upset there. But I do have the upset happening in the next round when I have Miami beating Houston. So it's the battle of who's going to get their player back.
Pretty much.
And
Who's going to get their
why?
star player back?
Yes. Why do I like Miami? Let's see. Where did Miami finish in the regular season in the ACC? That would be first. They won the ACC.
Wow.
So losing to Duke in the semifinals because their player got hurt, maybe, maybe not. You know, Duke is playing really good ball right now, but I think if if Miami is at their full roster, I think a 5 seed is too low for them. They're definitely better than Indiana at 4, definitely. Like not even close. They're better.
Agreed.
So they should probably be a 3 seed, in my opinion. But that's besides the fact. In the bottom part of the bracket, we look very similar. I have Texas beating Iowa State. I have Miami getting to the Final Four. So I have number 1, Alabama, and number 5, Miami. So going back to your bracket, let me hit the hand.
Yeah, hit the hand.
Hit the hand. All right. So now this is where we start to disagree on some stuff. Some stuff. In the East, you have Purdue getting through. You have Memphis getting through, which could be a decently good game. You have Duke over Oral Roberts. You have Louisiana beating Tennessee, so you have an upset there. You have Kentucky beating Providence. You have Kansas State beating Montana State. You have Michigan State beating USC. And you have Marquette beating Vermont. So we definitely want to talk about why you got the 13th seed beating the 4 seed. And then you could talk about whatever else you want to talk about.
Well, Tennessee is without one of their better players,
Yep.
also. And I believe they are another Indiana. They're too highly seeded.
Okay.
Yes, they have good wins. They've beaten Alabama this year, but they also just as bad of losses.
Uh-huh.
Purdue is one of the weakest 1 seeds I've ever seen, to be honest. Without Edie on the floor, they're average at best. With Edie on the floor, I still don't think they're that good. He's just 7'4", 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Because in my opinion, I don't know, it's a little bit of a homer opinion because it's Big Ten team, but I don't think Edie's that good. He can hit up to an 8-foot hook shot. He doesn't have to jump to dunk it. Congratulations.
So,
But I have them
which go
losing
ahead.
to Memphis.
What you want to do at Purdue is what you don't want to do against Penn State. You want to, triple team
Yeah,
Edie
you
and
want a
make
triple team Edie.
and make him give up the ball, which he doesn't do even when he's triple team a lot. He still finds a way to get some shots off. Like, not only is he tall, but he's got a little thickness to him. He's not like Manute Bol tall, who was
Yeah,
7'7" and 120 pounds.
yeah, he's 305.
Yeah, yeah. So he's got some
He's a big
bulk
boy.
to him. Yes, I mean I could still take him in a fight.
But
Like, I'll
what's
say he's got
Memphis?
me on basketball, but I could take him in a fight.
What's Memphis best at though?
You tell me.
Defensive pressure, turning defense into offense.
There you go.
They are susceptible to outside shooting, giving up a lot of threes.
Okay.
Purdue's not really the most 3-point shooting team in the world. They have a couple decent shooters, but
Hmm.
most of their points come from Edie. The one thing that Memphis is going to have to try to handle is they're not the greatest rebounding team either. Haha, Penn State. But their defensive pressure on Edie will keep Edie under 25 points and 12 rebounds in that game. Yes, he will get a double-double pretty easily. Purdue will lose.
Okay. All right. You have Duke over Louisiana, so you have chalk the rest of the way here. You have Kansas State over Kentucky. You have Marquette over Michigan. Any one of those games that you want to talk about?
No, not really.
Okay. In the Sweet 16, you have the upset. You have Memphis beating Duke. So 2 games in a row, you have the undersized Memphis team beating the teams with 7-footers.
Duke has the very same game plan as Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Not the greatest 3-point shooting team. Got your big boys in the middle that get all your points.
Mm-hmm.
Defense is going to win them both games. Very low scoring game. I see like 65, 63 at best. Maybe even like 61, 59 kind of games.
Okay. Okay. And you have another upset. You have Kansas State beating Marquette.
I told you the second the bracket came out that I loved Kansas State.
You did.
I like Kansas State. 7-5 versus top 25 opponents. They finished, I don't remember where they finished in their conference, but they are part of the Big 12, so they're part of that strong conference, and they're a 3 seed.
Mm-hmm. And then you have
But
Kansas State making it to the Final Four.
yes, because I just lost my entire train of thought.
There, attaboy.
I think way too fast before I try to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's that Big 12 mojo, though.
Mm-hmm.
Big 12 mojo.
Okay. Going over to the West, you have Kansas beating Howard. You have Arkansas beating Illinois. You call the upset here VCU over St. Mary's. You have UConn over Iona. You have TCU over either Arizona State or Nevada. You have Gonzaga over Grand Canyon. You have Northwestern over Boise. You have UCLA. So you only have one upset here in round one in this bracket, and that's VCU beating St. Mary's.
Yeah, I'm very chalky in this bracket. But
Very chalky.
VCU is a very strong 12 seed, actually.
They
I
are.
believe they're a very strong 12 seed. They are. ESPN says they're the perfect Cinderella story.
Okay.
It's kind of funny how they
All right.
word it. But they are very strong defensively, and they're big, athletic up front.
Okay. All right.
And I have no idea who the hell St. Mary's is.
They're out in California, so of course they play late,
Exactly.
so you wouldn't know. You're going to see when we get to my bracket that this may be the bracket we really disagree a lot on.
Okay.
In round two, you have Kansas beating Arkansas. You have VCU pulling the upset over number 4 UConn. You have TCU pulling the upset over Gonzaga, and you have UCLA beating Northwestern.
I think Gonzaga is weak. For Gonzaga, they started the year very poorly. They've been playing better, but their conference sucks. They're kind of like Houston. They play in a weak conference. So, take however they are with a grain of salt. How many times have they been the best team in the country and they still haven't won a national championship? TCU is coming from the big bad Big 12. The big bad Big 12.
A bad Leroy Brown. Okay.
They have some very impressive wins. They know how to get it done, and they will against Gonzaga.
Got it.
And they'll do it again against UCLA. And they'll do it again against Kansas.
So you have what is this, 1985 Big East?
3 Big 12 teams
You
in
have
the Final
three
Four.
Big 12 teams in the Final Four, and three Big 12 teams in the Final Four. Look at you. Look at you. Definitely like the Big 12 this year. You do.
At least I'm not like that one guy who had Penn State in the Final Four or the Elite Eight or whatever.
Yes. All right. Looking at my pool in the East, I got Purdue winning. I got Memphis winning. I got Duke winning. I also have Louisiana beating Tennessee. A lot of injuries for Tennessee. I got Providence with the upset over Kentucky. Down year for Kentucky. They're not that good. I got Kansas State over Montana State. I got USC beating Michigan State. That of all the games, that's the one that gave me the most problem picking, to be honest. So when in doubt, take the upset. And I have Marquette beating Vermont. In round two, I got Purdue beating Memphis. I got Duke beating Louisiana. I got chalk at the bottom, Kansas State and Marquette. I got Duke beating Purdue. I think Duke matches up great against Purdue. They got the height to shut down Edie. They got two 7-footers on their team who are playing damn good ball right now. I think Duke beats Purdue. I think Marquette beats Kansas State. And I have Duke making it to the Final Four as much as I do not want to see that happen.
By the way, before you go to your West,
Yes.
don't be surprised if Duke could lose their first game.
Oral Roberts does match up size-wise with them. Yes.
They
But
got a
Duke.
7'5" or 7'6" forward.
Yeah. Yeah. But if Duke was limping into this tournament, I might have some agreements with you. But they're playing their best ball of the season right now.
Unfortunately.
Yes, I know. I agree. In the West, I have Kansas, I have Illinois, I have VCU, I have UConn. I have actually TCU going out in round one. I think it's
You must
Nevada.
have Arizona State getting through.
No, I actually like Nevada in that game over Arizona State. I got
Okay.
Gonzaga, I got Northwestern, I got UCLA. Then I got Kansas, I got UConn, and I have UConn beating Kansas in the Sweet 16. I have UCLA and Gonzaga, I have UCLA, and I have UCLA making it to the Final Four. So I don't have any Big 12 teams in the Final Four.
SEC, ACC, ACC, Pac 12.
Yes, yes. So in the
So
Final
you like
Four,
the second best division in the ACC.
so obviously in the Final Four, one of your teams has to be from the Big
Big
12,
12.
if you got three of them in there. And actually, you have two Big 12 teams. You have Kansas State springing the upset against Arizona, and you have Texas beating TCU, and you have Texas cutting down the nets in Houston. A relative home game for them.
Basically with TCU, too.
Basically with TCU, yeah. Yep. 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 In my
Hook
bracket,
'em
I
up.
have Alabama beating Duke, I have UCLA beating Miami, and I have Alabama. So as as much as I think anything could happen in this year, I have the number one overall seed winning the tournament. Yeah.
You're boring.
Yeah, I know. I'm
By
boring.
the way, if you want to know, Kansas State and Texas obviously played twice. Kansas State beat Texas 116 to 103, and Texas beat Kansas State 69-66.
So that first game, did that go into a few overtimes?
No. Went into no overtimes.
Jesus.
Yeah. Kansas State scored 58 and 58 in the two halves. Texas went 40 and 63. What?
Oh.
These are some sick stats. Yeah, Kansas State shot 60% from the field, 54% from three. That's a sick game.
I would say so.
That was in Texas, too.
Hmm.
Unranked Kansas State went in and beat a top 10 Texas.
Okay. All right. So that is our picks.
That might be the first time in a very long time we don't have something similar.
Yes. Yes.
We always have something similar.
Yes. So this is basically the 3-year anniversary of Phatts TV.
Is it really?
Yeah, because remember our first show was going to be bracketology for the NCAA tournament.
Wasn't 3 years ago today the lockdown day?
I don't know. Was it?
It was somewhere around now.
I know we're coming up on Purge Day.
That's
21, I think.
321. For some reason, I thought it was 316.
We got to find that out now because I want to celebrate that day.
When is Purge Day? March 21st.
Yeah, we're coming up on Purge Day, baby. 1 week today. I'm going to be purging.
So at midnight of March 20th to 7 a.m.?
I'll be purging. Nah, we're going to do it for 24 hours this year.
There is a Purge movie where it does last 24 hours.
Yeah, we're going to purge, baby. Purge, baby, purge. Disco Inferno. Purge,
Just
baby,
think
purge.
about that for 1 second. If that was real.
Yeah.
How would you be celebrating Purge, baby? Purge. You'd be dead. You'd be dead.
Probably. 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 But I might go out and commit a crime or two. Not murder. I'm not into murder, but there might be some other crimes I might commit. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? By the way, Hofstra and Rutgers are going into overtime in the first round of the NIT.
All right. Rutgers trying to prove right away why they don't belong in the tournament. Says Rutgers has got to be a 1 seed.
I believe they were. A 1 or a 2.
Michigan won. Boo.
They still suck.
And Michigan still sucks.
Yes.
Michigan. Wow, Texas A&M CC is up by 1 with 15 seconds to go.
Whoa. Well, maybe we should turn that game on since the hockey game is in end of the intermission. 72-71, 15.1 seconds to go. The old lady, probably the coach's wife, looks very nervous at this point. Texas A&M with the ball and a 1-point lead. And a foul is called. So let's see if whomever they're going to put on the line could hit some free throws. He looks like a guard. He's short. He's short.
Probably
He's
the
black.
best free throw shooter.
You would think. You would think. The coach of Southeast Missouri State didn't think it was a foul. They tried to trap him in the corner. He is a 67.4% free throw shooter. He's gone to the line 16 times tonight. Yes.
67, that's it.
Well, it is 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Not very good.
He sinks the first. Meatloaf sang a song. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
By the way, Texas A&M CC has a free throw shooter that's 91%.
Yeah. They probably
And
should
he's
try to get him the ball.
guard.
Might not even
They
be in the
have-
game.
You said 67%?
That's what I said.
Their whole team is better. There's 3 players worse than that. That's it.
Well, and he sinks them both. They've gone to the line,
It
I
was
think I saw
Jackson.
33 times. All right. They're not calling timeout. That's because they're out of timeouts. Shooting a 3 to tie. And he front rims it. Oh, it was right on line, and he front rimmed it. So 1.5 seconds to go. If we hit a free throw, Texas A&M moves on. Doink, front rim. Oh, it was right on line. Let's see if a tall guy could hit one free throw. He only needs one. 1 out of 2 seals the victory with only 1.5 seconds to go. That's if there's a stupid 4-point play. But why would you have there be a 4-point play? You'd have to be pretty stupid. Oh, the big guy shooting 84% from the line.
Damn.
And he sinks the first. Little live play-by-play here on Phatts TV. No need to watch the game.
I didn't even know you had True TV.
I got a satellite dish. I got all that crap. And he front rims the second, and the white guy heaves it, and he's not even close. Game over. Texas A&M CC Islanders win by 4. The
Yay.
Islanders. I didn't know they were playing hockey.
You made the tournament. Does being in the first 4 really mean you're in the tournament? Let's be honest here.
Well, they get to play a second game now. That's they don't have to go back to school. Speaking of, you should have been on the Penn State golf team. They're like never in class. I get like an update every morning that they're playing a golf tournament somewhere in Florida.
Pretty sure the Penn State golf team's actually decent too.
Don't you get the Penn State updates for their athletics?
No.
Oh, I do. It's like every morning. They're here playing this tournament.
That's cool.
What app do I? I'm sure you know the app as soon as I say it. What's it called?
Penn State Athletics.
It could very well be.
I probably don't have notifications on for that app.
Got ya. It's called Nittany Lions. At least that's what comes up on my screen.
Oh.
So that's so like I could listen to the radio broadcast when they're not on TV. The one
Penn
that
State Athletics has the radio broadcast.
it's and Lion Vision is on here. And
Yeah, that's Penn State Athletics.
okay. 7 Nittany Lion fencers qualify for an NCAA championship.
Poke 'em with the stick.
Penn State lacrosse women's wins 13-12 on a last-minute goal. I saw the men's lacrosse team beat number 3 Cornell, was it?
Yeah, and they beat another top 5 school the week before. They're back. Lacrosse is back.
Lacrosse is back, baby. Better than ever.
They used to be number 1 every year. They lose to Yale in the NCAA semifinals every year.
Okay.
They'll be back if they once they get into Big Ten play and beat Maryland, who's number 1.
Got ya. All right, that's going to do it for our show tonight. We'll definitely be back next Tuesday to talk about the Sweet 16. We might do a show sometime Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Who knows? We'll think about it. Stay tuned to your local Phatts, wherever you get your Phatts news from.
This next Tuesday, so we can talk about my perfect bracket.
Well, we're definitely going to do a show next Tuesday.
About my perfect bracket.
About your perfect bracket, sure. Sure.
Kiana's perfect bracket.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about your girlfriend's picks. Shall we?
At least the left side of her bracket is realistic.
Let me pull up her picks on my phone.
I have the paper on the wall right there.
That was nice of you to hang it up.
It's right next to mine. Because I'm probably going to try to keep the point system and see who wins.
Am I going to email you mine too?
If you want to, well, you're probably going to keep track of our points, I'm sure.
Oh, if I feel,
I
if
mean,
I'm not
our
lazy.
brackets are so different, we'll know who wins.
Yes. So she has Baylor going to the Final Four over Maryland.
Yeah. Over Maryland.
She has Purdue over USC. This girl likes her upsets.
Oh, she does.
She has Gonzaga over Penn State. Why not?
That's in the Final Four. She's Gonzaga over UConn in the
Oh,
Elite
yeah,
Eight.
she actually has Colgate beating Texas, by the way. And
Oh,
she
I know
has
she has Colgate beating Texas.
and she has Penn State beating Auburn. That girl loves her upsets. You know what? She should probably put this bracket in an ESPN because, like, if these upsets happen, she'd be the only one in America that probably has all these upsets.
Well, those are the people that usually do really good, like the people that don't know anything about basketball, and they just pick schools just because.
Yeah. So
Because I
here's
told her, like, are you paying attention to the numbers at all? And she goes, no.
so here's her Sweet 16. She's got number 8 Maryland against number 4 Virginia. She's got number 3 Baylor against number 10 Utah State. She's got number 1 Purdue against number 5 Duke. She's got number 6 Kentucky against number 10 USC. She's got number 2 UCLA against number 3 Gonzaga, and she's got number 4 UConn against number 9 or number 9 Illinois. She's got number 10 Penn State against number 3 Xavier, and she's got number 12 Drake against number 9 Auburn. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. Kiana, if that happens, you would have to be winning the America pool. You should put in your pool at ESPN.
If that happens, you have 3 1 seeds out in the second round. And the one that you actually have going far is Purdue.
She'll probably kick all of our asses.
She would.
She probably will. That's you know what? I could see all that happening. Who knows this year? Who knows? Who knows? All right. So stay tuned to wherever you get your Phatts news from, Phatts TV news for our next show. Like I said, we'll definitely do next Tuesday. Maybe we'll do something this weekend, especially if somebody on Team Phatts wins states this week out in Erie for bowling. So once again, good luck to all Team Phatts members bowling in states this weekend out in Erie. They sent around a message, interestingly. What the bowling centers up there like to do, since it snows so much, you literally have to take your shoes off at the door.
Huh.
So they tell you to bring a second pair of shoes with you that you can put on.
Kind of smart, though.
Yeah, it is. Because, with all that salt, you don't want salt in the settee area for sure.
And people are very smart and just walk around with their wet shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I could honestly say I'm very happy that when you were in high school, states were not in Erie.
Yeah.
That would not have been a fun ride. It was a bitch of a ride going out to Pittsburgh twice.
It's not that bad.
No, and we got Vincent's Pizza, so.
In Erie, there's no Vincent's Pizza.
No. But there is a casino.
Knowing you would have drove to Pittsburgh and then drove north just so you could get Vincent's Pizza.
Probably not.
It's
Probably
not that far
not.
out of the way.
Yeah, that probably adds like 2 hours at least to the drive. Yeah, I would not have done that. not a chance. Not a chance.
You would have definitely looked at how long it would take.
No. If we would have went from here, we would have went up towards Knoebels and got on 80 somewhere and went out that way. Would have never touched the turnpike.
State college. Just go through state college.
Might have even did that. Who knows? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully the audio went well tonight. It seems that it did. I didn't hear any echoes tonight, which was our problem. So, and I like the way these headphones work. They work very well. So we'll be sticking with them. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, see ya.